Thank you for attending this panel discussion. It's a pleasure to be moderating this panel discussion. Now, let me please introduce our esteemed panelists, starting with Randa Farah, an accomplished HR specialist, organizational psychologist, and university instructor. She's the founder of I Have Learned Academy and Lebitivty.com. As a certified trainer and master NLP practitioner from the UK, as well as a certified happiness at work expert from Denmark. Randa is a stress management and personal growth specialist. Passionate about making daily life skills accessible, she established I Have Learned Academy to provide affordable learning opportunities. With a rich background in HR management and 3 university degrees, Randa is a corporate trainer and a seasoned instructor at USG and ALBA. Additionally, she is the visionary behind Lebitivty.com, a thriving events platform in Lebanon, earning her several awards. Please with me, let's clap for Ms. Randa Farah. Next to her, we have Ms. Maria Saab, a high-performance coach, international speaker, and community leader, specializes in helping executives, athletes, and high achievers to overcome limiting beliefs and unlock their full potential. With over 8 years of experience in leadership and human behavior, she collaborates with renowned organizations like KPMG, Mind Valley, Kinergy, and Ingenico, catalyzing profound transformations among C-suite executives. Maria's personalized coaching integrates proven techniques and cutting-edge methodologies, enabling clients to break through barriers, optimize performance, and lead purpose-driven lives. Rooted in values of love and service, Maria is a catalyst for high performers to transcend limitations and manifest the lives they envision. Please welcome with me Ms. Maria. Then we're gonna move to Diala Iskandar Khater. Diala Iskandar Khater is the Lebanese League for Women in Business Beqaa chapter coordinator and project manager. Holds a master's degree in social sciences from LU. Joining LLWB in 2017, she assumed the pivotal role of Beqaa chapter coordinator, serving as the organization's representative in the region. Responsible for portraying LLWB's brand image, Diala adeptly plans, executes, and promotes all LLWB activities in the region. She also serves as the project manager for the Israr project in partnership with Spark and holds the position of coordinator for the Qadirat project under Drosses, significantly contributing to women's empowerment in her community. Please clap with me for Ms. Diala Iskandar. Also, we have Ms. Elsa Osta, a distinguished graduate in product design with a second master's degree in design strategy, seamlessly combines her passion for fashion and inquisitive nature. In 2017, she translated her creative vision into the establishment of Elsa O, her jewelry brand. 3 years later, fueled by a deep commitment to sustainability, Elsa expanded her entrepreneurial endeavors by venturing into the world of e-commerce with Pink Attik, a unique platform dedicated to second-hand treasures. Her journey reflects a harmonious blend of artistic expression and a conscious commitment to environmentally friendly practices. Please welcome with me Ms. Elsa Osta. Okay, can you hear me well? Great. So, ladies, from your perspective, I would like to know how has your personal journey or experiences shaped your views on women's empowerment? Let's start with Elsa.
Be yourself.
Okay,
and
great.
accept the weak and the strong points and embrace them to the maximum.
Thank you so much. Diala?
I would say keep learning. It will be the most thing you need to continue your journey.
Thank you so much.
know the power that your femininity holds in creating a better society and invest in yourself and in that.
Thank you.
I would say a balance between your feminine side and your entrepreneurial side, so that you know how to stay as a beautiful lady and not become, because I see a lot of entrepreneurs who say like, I want to become an entrepreneur, so they become somehow their masculine energy, and this is something very important and very tricky to be aware of.
Nice. Okay. Now I'm gonna ask Maria, what role can mentorship and networking play in empowering women to advance in their careers and leadership roles? Like from what you do, you work with leaders, with athletes. So how do you think if the athletes and leaders, they are females, how are you going, or how mentorship will impact them?
I'm going to talk more about myself, not as a coach, but as a mentee, someone being mentored by other people, and how impactful that has been on my career. Yes, I work with a lot of people that have made it much further in life than I have, on the mental aspect, of course. But I have been mentored by excellent people in my industry, and if it hadn't been for my investment in those mentors and coaches, I don't think I would have grown that fast and that much, because I got the chance to learn from their own experience and to add that to my own personal experience. And it's so important to have just that one person who truly believes in your vision and in you to really help you to push that further. And because at some point in my life I felt that I needed that, I want to make sure that in everything I do, I'm that one person in every person's life that I work with to fully believe in their capabilities and in their potential and invest in them and their journey.
Totally agree. Ms. Randa, what do you think?
I totally agree with Maria. I would have repeated the same sentence, actually. And also myself, I was trained by amazing people, and I think I wouldn't have made it so far without those different trainings and the coaching and all the knowledge I received. And I'm very grateful for that, and I encourage everyone to work on themselves in different aspects. Now, you asked about two things, networking and mentorship. So concerning mentorship, as you know, I have learned Academy, and it came from a need, because I asked myself at a point, why no one taught me those things earlier? Why did I have to learn things the hard way? And I wanted to shortcut, like to shorten the path between like people getting learning the hard way and getting the lessons. So this is why I created I Have Learned Academy, which is a place where we teach everything that you didn't learn at school or university, and that no one really teaches us in real life. Like, for example, how to deal with toxic people, how to get over a breakup, how to, I don't know, like many things. And these are like the courses that we offer, and it's I believe in this very much. Like, this is one of my main values. Concerning the networking, I think it's also super important, because I believe that every person you meet knows something that you don't. And this is why every person that I meet, I want to learn from them, whoever they are. I don't see that someone is better than another, so there's always something to learn from anyone, and I have learned a lot from many people.
Thank you so much. Like when we're talking about networking, just like lightened in my mind. Elsa, how much is networking important in Pink Attik and in your entrepreneur?
It's everything, because Pink Attik is really about creating this community to spread awareness more about secondhand. That is a process that is very important for sustainability, because it's directly related to environment reasons, etc. So it's really the exchange, and it becomes more rich by exchanging and doing this networking, if we want activity, and creating this community, if we can say.
Exactly. Ms. Diala and all, this question is for each one. So what are the key challenges women face in today's society, and how can we collectively address them?
I think through our experience through those programs with those entrepreneurs, we always see the look of the woman at herself. She still feel like afraid to do more steps or to do one step. So those were the challenges to change their mind, to give them this hope, this confidence in themselves. And I need to mention about networking. It can really help. Since networking is not only exchange products between each other, it's exchange experience, it's exchange knowledge. So those ladies in rural areas need to know and to figure out their potential, their capacities to do what they can do and do it.
Thank you so much. Moving to Maria, what do you think the challenges and how can we address them?
There are several points I can point out on this. One of them is addressing the funding gap. Only 1% of female-owned businesses have access to VC funding worldwide. And so this one is a huge one, unfortunately, because most VCs are white males, right? And so they try to support, I'm all for gender equality, but the numbers show that. But at the same time, as an entrepreneur, that's a problem, so you find a solution. It's really pushing women to become angel investors themselves. It's pushing women to learn more about investments and all of these things. So this is one of the ways that we can solve this problem. And another way is we need to have more room for not just men supporting women, but women supporting women and being there for each other and supporting each other and knowing that one woman's success is not going to take from your own success and knowing that there is room for everyone. So.
Can't agree anymore.
Well, I can agree and disagree if I want to say, because I noticed that there's so many also funds and awards just for women. For example, I won an award from Francophone Entrepreneur. And we were in the team, 3 males and 2 females, and said, oh, it's good we have a woman in the team. And also we had like many funds where there's priority for women, but this came because of awareness and because of the issues that you mentioned. So it's a result.
We need more from this.
Yes. So the challenges, I see them like in 2 ways. One is like the category of people who think they are not good enough or they are not capable enough or they don't have the enough support. And I see another side, which is extreme, which is like thinking that they are invincible, like I can do everything. And this is also a problem because we have to be realistic. And I also believe, personally, not only in women empowerment, but also in men empowerment. Because what I'm noticing, especially when, you're not a kid anymore, like you become a bit advanced, you notice that there's a gap a bit with men. Like it's harder, I think many agree that many people left the country and it's harder now to find, I would say, men who are fully empowered and capable. And so, for me, it was never about the gender, because for me, it's not that female is inferior to man, that's why we should empower her. For me, women and men has different roles, and both need to be empowered in their roles, in their, being.
It's
so
about the potentials.
That's why I'm not, I know that there are many women associations, and I totally respect that, I love that, I participate somehow in it, but I never become a member fully, because I believe in equal empowerment for both genders.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Elsa.
I believe that everyone has something to add to the table, and we need the feminine and the masculine energy. Mm-hmm. That's why they exist.
They are complementary to each other. Thank you so much. Would you like to add any challenge? It's fine. Okay.
We're good.
Okay. So moving on to our next question. It's for Elsa. So how can we create a more inclusive environment that encourages and supports women in entrepreneurship? Like, from your perspective, you are an entrepreneur. How do you think you can encourage other females? What is the inclusive environment that the females should live in to grow more in the entrepreneurial sector?
There's a saying, I don't know if I read it somewhere, but it means a lot to me. It's love what you believe in and believe in what you love. And it's the perfect balance between emotional and practical. And it made me understand after a while that it's about you as a person, and to understand yourself, to love yourself, to accept yourself, so you can basically exchange this energy. So I believe it's really important to, for me, if I want to help another woman or man even, يعني, is really to exchange this motivation and experience with them so they can really understand and discover themselves, so they will be able to do that and to continue the cycle.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Now moving on to Diala, I'm gonna ask you something. So, are there specific industries or sectors like agricultural, for example, sectors where women entrepreneurs face more obstacles, and how can these barriers be overcome?
On these days, we cannot say this. Women can do everything. But as a culture, we only see ladies in ladies' work or ladies' sectors. Not only agriculture, it's about science, technology. Now we are seeing many ladies going to those sectors or to those careers. But before, we can see that ladies have some careers at university and at employment level that are only for ladies. But now, as we can say, speaking about, for example, I'm going to tell you something about the Beqaa area, because you mentioned the agriculture. For example, ladies in agriculture, we had some project in the latest program that called Smart Land, led by a girl, a young girl that turned her land to a smart land. She used agriculture and technology to give more products and to give her land something special that can use on her land, and it's an application on her land and the other lands beside. So now we can say it's about awareness, not about sectors. If we can do the awareness for ladies or for youth, since the level of education, since the level of before going to high schools or to universities, if we do the right awareness for those youth girls, they can do everything in all sectors.
I totally agree. I hear it since we were like in school, like the science sector are for females and the engineering sectors are for males. So we are getting over this, and this is very good. Like there are many sectors for us. There's no like one sector or two sectors that we have to be directed to, and this is very nice, actually.
I have to mention. I have to mention a program. That's why I'm telling you about awareness. I have to tell you, LLWB years ago did a program in schools where we targeted young ladies in high school and take them for one day to multiple industries to do mechanic, to do something with technology, computer. Each group of 10 of ladies went to an industry where she couldn't find herself and she can go there. So this program was give them very, very high motivation to those young ladies to think about another strategy for their life, that I can do mechanic, I can do technology, I can do computer science, I can do all those sectors. That's why I'm speaking about awareness. It's only about awareness.
Thank you so much. Anyone would like to add any insight to this? Okay. So, moving on. Randa, in what ways can education be tailored to empower young girls and women to pursue careers in traditionally male-dominated fields? You have I have learned academy, so how do you think this education can be tailored to females?
Just a note, like I have learned academies for adults so already.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, I hope that someday we will arrive to the point that we will get to the point where we don't have to say, oh, a woman is doing a male job or a male, like every job should be equal for everyone. This is what I believe. And I'm going to tell you a small story that happened with me. I was at the Web Summit in Portugal last week, and there was a huge lounge for women in tech. So it was written Women in Tech, and they do a happy hour every day. And there was a huge line of women waiting to get in, and it was so crowded. So I was passing by with a guy from Hungary, so like a country, and someone else from another European country. And they looked at this and they said, wow. And then they looked at me, and you know what they said? They said, imagine that we do a lounge called Men in Tech, and only men can enter. What would you feel? And I looked at him and smiled, and I said, you're right, man. Because he wanted to enter, and he saw like only women inside, and it was women and talking and having coffee and waiting in line, and women in tech only. And so this is something I don't really like. I want this to be natural, like people in tech, whoever you are, just go in. So for me, being empowered to do this is about the skills and not about the gender again. I'm not the right person to ask about this because I am, yeah.
But I have a small question. Diala said like it's all about awareness. Don't you think we can use this awareness? I don't mean like to have it like strictly for women, but we can empower women via education, especially at some points we have weaknesses here. Yes. Don't you agree?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, sure.
One of my goals is to integrate teaching about personal development and soft skills within schools as well. And Mr. Rudy was just saying on the panel before that the top 6 skills are soft skills for you to navigate through the world successfully, right? So once you start to learn about yourself and who you are and what you stand for, and you reconnect with your personal truth beyond the definitions and limitations that society puts for you, then you're really able to take whatever decision that aligns with who you are. And whatever that is, whatever job that is, whatever education you choose to pursue. So that's why my clients are mostly men, by the way, and I have to teach them. So first session goes like that. What are emotions? So imagine we live in a world where we need to teach men what emotions are. This is how neglected they are as well. So we do have to give attention to both females and males at the same time, and to really focus on the skills that are necessary for us as humans to live and not just become successful in that specific career to make more money, because we're really putting so much focus on that area and neglecting just living and experiencing life as a whole human being and how to really enjoy ourselves while we're doing that. Because once you do this, you're unstoppable, because when you reconnect with your truth, you reconnect with your power. And once you reconnect with your power, you could do whatever you want, at whatever age, with whatever gender, whatever education. The sky's the limit, because I don't think we're meant to do one thing, right?
Please integrate it. It's much needed, so please do it. Yes.
Actually, some countries already integrated a course on empathy, for example. This is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to ask a question for Diala. How can we increase the involvement of women in entrepreneurship? And what do we need to do to make it easier for women to start their own businesses, especially within rural communities? From your position in LLWB, what do you think?
I can tell you that what they need is access to resources.
Okay.
We can help them by tailored programs that can give them this access to resources, and not only fund resources. It's about skills resources, soft skills and technical skills. It's about mentoring them. It's about a whole over program that is tailored to their culture, to their position, and to their skills or capacities that they have to build on for a better future for them and their entrepreneurship.
I would like just to add something to this question. Do you think these stuff will be different between rural community and a city, for example?
I will tell you something that I learned or I have faced in one of our programs. They have this box that they live in. This box is for their market, is there for skills. It's only they only work for this livelihood where they live. Once you give them this program, once you give them this push, when you tell them that you can do it, you can go over this box, you can put. For example, we have this entrepreneur who works in embroidery. She only works for her neighborhood, for her cousins. She does some, trees with hands. So once we gave her one session about marketing and digital marketing. So she said, me, on digital marketing, I will put a picture So after 1 month, she came to me and said, Diala, I have so many clients. They are calling me from everywhere. I need to do this, I need to do that. So, and I did this and I did that. So she was very, for this, only I did a photo and put it on the social media. I only linked her to another way to deliver or to market her products. That's it. They need this push.
Thank you so much, Diala. Moving to Elsa. I see you on social media. Pink Attik, you have like website for Pink Attik. I see your profile on social media. Pink Attik, you use a lot of social media and stuff. So how do you think technology and new innovations and social media can be a leverage to create opportunities and bridge this gender gap and contribute? Sorry, and contribute to the empowerment of women globally, particularly in regions. In our region.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Okay.
We all agree on that. But I love social media. No, I believe it's the platform. As I said before, when we started, that you have to understand your weak points and your strong points and embrace them. So for me, social media is the right example of this, because you can really find the stuff that we do not like on social media and the ways that we do not like, because it's easy access to everyone today.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's much faster and it's stronger and it's much more interesting today also having these platforms to work on. Pink Attik is based on social media.
Exactly.
And I wanted to start, I'm a thrifter from a very young age, and I always believed that we didn't have a platform in Lebanon that does that. So this is how it started, and because I'm a content creator as well, so this is how the idea started, from social media basically. It was the combination of me being a thrift lover with my love to love-hate, let's say, to social media.
How do you see like the upcoming times will impact this, like technology on business, mainly in like for women entrepreneur stuff?
Change is not the easiest thing, but the faster we hop on change and understand it, I think the more interesting it is. It's more fun. It's out of the box. It's not the easiest thing to do, but I think we learn with experience and with time that it's important to adapt and to understand and to move fast on it. And I think it's the future. I used to give an example, like, because some of my friends has kids today, and they're like, no, we don't want them on TikTok. That was like almost 3 or 5 years ago when it started. 5 years ago we had TikTok. I lack on time because of the 3 years, but still. So I was like, it's stupid, because when you were a kid, your parents didn't allow you to watch TV. True. Because TV was the thing, we don't have to spend time on TV. Now we have 4 TVs at home. So social media is the same, and everything, and technology is the same. So it depends how you use it and how you adapt to it.
Okay, thank you so much. Maria, how do you think like technology and innovations can be a leverage, like to open opportunities for females, especially that you're very active on social media? So tell us more.
I'm a community girl, so I use technology to connect people together and to help people in rural areas specifically. For me, I believe it gives them access to women who are already achieving things in their own lives, outside of the rural areas, for them to really learn from other women's experiences or men, to be inspired, motivated, or get more educated and get that awareness that Diala was talking about, to be able to navigate and add that to their own work or experience, etc. So just connecting people together, building masterminds, building networks, building communities, and building education on that and within that, and just communicating. Like any networking event here, I think social media and technology can be used for just that as well.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask you also a question. What strategies do you find effective in promoting work-life balance for women in professional setting?
Okay. So probably you're asking me that because part of what I do is I help to coach people to create a balance in different areas of their life as they excel in their careers as well. So one of the strategies to do that, and I'm going to speak about women here a little bit more because they do have a lot of responsibilities at home that require their presence, right? The first thing is to gain clarity. If you want to create anything, example here, work-life balance, you need to know, how does work-life balance look for me? What is work-life balance for me, right? Because it could look for me completely differently than what it would look for you, right? So have that clarity of vision. What is it that I want to build? And then from there, how can I build that? Build an action plan, build a system on the different areas of your life to know, where do I want to get in those different areas of my life? And then from there, after building that action plan, to take consistent actions towards them and to become that person that you want to become in the present moment. Because if you put an action plan or a goal for yourself that's over there in the future, and if you don't start acting on it here in the present moment, and if you don't give it life in the present time, then it's only going to be a vision outside of you. You need to become that person first for you to have that life that you want to create for yourself. So am I consciously making time for my family? Am I consciously making time for my friends? Or is it just something that I hopefully would like to do, right? Or is it a goal that I have for myself?
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to hear the insight of you, Diala. You're a mother, so I would like to know.
I was talking with Dr. Jalloul that we have to build this ecosystem for ladies. This facilities, those facilities in our life and in our workplace that can help us not to think that we are doing something we don't have to do, or we to prioritize our lives. Yani, I don't need to be with my family for this time, or in my work for this time, or I don't need this. I have to build a very, very easy and friendly environment for ladies who work. For example, they can bring with them their kids, for example, to the gym. It's a very simple example. If I want to go, not to my job, if I want to go to the gym, I can't. If I need a gym with a place for my kids, so I can go for it. Same for the employment, same for the duration of the job, same for everything. You have many tasks to do if you are a mother. So if my job cannot offer me these facilities to do it, so I will fail in both. It's very hard to do it.
Thank you so much. Ms. Randa, how do you do this work balance when you are founder of I Have Learned Academy, Lebitivty, and also your university instructor? So how do you make this work balance?
I ask myself the same question every day. And I also have a dog, and I do sports, and I do all my hobbies. And well, I often nag that I need more than 24 hours a day. However, what I do is I'm very strategic in the way I divide my day. So I use a lot of tools, like a lot of technology also, calendars, reminders, notifications. Otherwise, I would forget everything. And I plan everything to the minute. So as you noticed, I came like 5 minutes before my planned meeting because I finished so many things in the morning. So it's just about planning your day, and I put objectives of the week, like what do I want to achieve this week, what things are a priority, and I put them on my agenda, things to do, things reminder, and then I do them for each category. And because the activity is also about events and going out, so I recharge a bit in in those events, so you can join l'utile à l'agréable.
Thank you so much. Yes, please.
Balance. Balance is very important. So when we know we prioritize what we like and what we want to do, we will manage to do it with the 24 hours.
Also, when you love your job, it's like you're doing.
True. I would like to go back to one question. I would like to ask it for you. When we asked about an inclusive environment that encourages women in entrepreneurship. So I would like to have your insight about it.
Yes, what's the question exactly?
How can we create a more inclusive environment that encourages and supports women in entrepreneurship?
I mean, there's nothing that I can add to what was said. What's happening already is a lot. I mean, awareness, education, networking, all the things that already were mentioned. There's nothing specific.
Thank you so much.
here. We need policies. Yes, we need policies for this inclusion in entrepreneurs or MSMEs all
For
over.
females.
For females and for mothers and for everything we are fighting for. We need policies.
Okay, I feel it's a little bit debatable over here. If it's policies only for I can feel it, so yes. Okay, my last question for you. What trends do you foresee for women in entrepreneurship in the coming years? Maria, if you'd like to start.
Everything and anything. Honestly, I'm happy to see women being more active in society right now. And I'm happy to see them get out there and step up their game and do more things than they used to before. Because yes, I personally fully support gender equality, but it is a fact that women at some point were oppressed and that their voices were not heard and that they were not given the same rights as men. Before, yes, it used to happen. Now it's much better. So I think moving forward, I hope moving forward is just us being other human beings doing what we want to do and not just having it as women or as men.
Thank you. Elsa?
I would say a bit the same, and maybe not having this talk actually, and stop saying women and men and talks and not. So I think a bit the same as Maria.
Diala, and I would like to know in which sectors, like what trends do you foresee for women? بأي مجال وين?
Look, I want to speak about a very important thing for me as a wife and a mother and an employee. I really dream to see a really independent lady that learned for herself and go to a job for herself before her family and her house and her children and everything. That can give herself some time to her something to herself. For the upcoming years, I can see ladies in all sectors, as I told you, they can success in all sectors, but mainly in digitalization and technology. Why? Because it gives them more flexible time and more flexible location, if it is the right expression. And she can work from home with her family, and it goes also to, it's not for her, it's for her family and for children.
Yes, please.
Yes, if we talk about trends, we have to, like my belief is that we should always, as entrepreneurs, update our knowledge to adapt to what I call the new reality, okay? And our new reality now, we cannot deny that AI has a big role in it, okay? So when we say AI, I created recently a workshop called AI will not take your job, but someone who knows how to use it will. So you're invited to attend. We can give it to JCI. So actually, yes, because if you have two entrepreneurs and one of them is tech savvy and they know how to use AI and they are updated about the latest knowledge, and someone who doesn't, it's clear who's gonna succeed more, right? So we cannot stay outdated, even if I'm always also amazed by my mom and old people who are already at a certain age and still they want to learn how to use WhatsApp, how to use whatever. This curiosity is what will get you there, and also adapting to the new reality. This is what I always say.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your insights. I would like to ask the audience if you have any question. Yes, please.
Thank you. I will leave it for you to decide who will answer this question. Maybe you, because also you challenge us about something I found it so difficult to, I mean, if you want to empower women, you need to make a system for this empowerment. You cannot leave it for this. We are living in a world, it's dominated by the men. So I work with Spark on development project. So we need always to put percentage. Let's say we need applications from women, let's say 50% minimum. If we do that with all these tools, we're still receiving a lot from men and very minimum from women. And it's different from country to another. Let's say in Iraq, when we open application for something, it's 1%. Huh? With Spark. Yeah. In some countries, the participation of women is 1%. Maybe it will be increased in Lebanon to 10-20%. So I think to protect the participation of the woman, we need to maybe have this quota of woman participation. We always see in all sectors. I don't want to say only business, politics, government, army, everything it's dominated by the men. So if what tools you think, if you don't want to go to sessions only for females, what tools you suggest here that increase that participation of the woman?
I don't know, because I see things differently. You know, I see things differently from what you're saying. لأنه, for example, if you go to, let's say now, there's an event in Forum de Beirut. It's called Christmas in Action. There will be like, we have, as I have in Academy, the workshop area, okay? Most of the people who are taking a stand or who are delivering or who are having small businesses are women. So I was thinking actually, like, where are the men? Like, no one has a business to to promote. Why all the women are the ones who are doing like this type of small businesses, work from home business, online business, and they are waiting for an exhibition to do this. So maybe you should increase the awareness about your program. Maybe it's not reaching the right target. Maybe if you advertise it on Lebitivty, we'll get more. Because I'm sure many of the ladies here would maybe think of. I mean, this is my perception. I'm sure that it's not the answer you expected and you're waiting for. Maybe I will give it to LLWB because they have the network.
I already said that it's about awareness and it's about access to resources. When you give the access to resources to all people, not only ladies and men. If you need to increase women, you have to give it to target ladies and women. It's about the opportunity. This opportunity can serve who and how. So when we look at the opportunity and give it to the right person and to the right woman or man, it could be benefit for both in the community that we work with. I don't know if I gave you the answer, but this is how we work. It's about the opportunity and the target of it.
Thank you so much.
Hi. Thank you so much for the panel. I have a question. So we've been talking about empowering women. It's very nice to talk about and in theory and all these things. But I'm very curious about the businesses that you run right now and what policies and resources you have available right now for your women employees. The question goes for everyone. Because it's nice to talk in theory, but what are you personally doing right now in your businesses that you're running?
I think first, I don't know if it's about women again or it's about Anjad understanding the work environment by being flexible and really reach the target at the end of the day. For example, at Pink Attik, I say always to my employees, I do not need you 5 hours at the office if you can finish the job in 1 hour. Come for 1 hour and go. No, after 2 hours, we will be fighting. So let's finish the work and leave. So I think it's important to understand and to listen and to communicate with the people you work with so you can create a healthy environment, despite it's women or men. That's my answer.
When it comes to me, when I choose the people that I want to work with, it's not about whether that's a woman or that's a man. What are your competencies? What are your skills? What are your values? What do you stand for? What kind of person are you? When you're put in a team, how do you work? What kind of energy do you add to that team? So whether you're a man or a woman, if you've done the work, if you've done the inner and the outer work, then please come work with me, right? So to me, it's just building an environment that's supportive to whatever person there is.
ثابت مش قصداً بس all my team is because I hired 3 interns and I said like I wanted the 3 of them to be employees and only the women succeeded. It's not I mean it's about the competencies, not about women or men. So
I believe it's about the sector that you work in.
Yeah, to be able also to handle the pressure and the communication. It's like again I repeat what she said, like it's not about men or women.
So like
thank you so much.
Maternity policy, child leave, let's like, do you have policies in place, or it's just like?
I mean, these are by not only by company, it's by law, يعني.
The law is not supportive of women. Yes, we are in a room full of women, and we're all business owners and professionals and all these things, but the law still discriminates.
Not really, because the women get maternity leaves in other countries. Men get paternity leaves as much as women get maternity leave. Here we don't have that.
I agree, but even paternity leave helps women. Yes. You know, because at the end of the day, the child is not the woman's child. It is the child of the man and the woman. The child has a mother and father, or 2 fathers, or 2 mothers, or whatever the family dynamic is. But you know, it's not a women's issue, and also like the fact that we're even asking in this panel, which is something we did not ask in the previous panel, how are you doing work-life balance? This is a question that is not asked to men. How do you balance your wife and your children, or what your pet, or your gym schedule?
Because they are not multitaskers. I mean, it's
yes, but just the fact that you have to say this to women is the reason why there is happy hour for women in tech.
I want to tell you something.
It's not someone is inferior or superior to the other. It's we're living in a world where the mechanics, even the language that we're using, you say chairman. هلا بلشنا نستعمل chairperson. يعني even the language that you're using in business is a patriarchal language. It's a patriarchal society. Whether, and this is no disrespect to men, عادي, we all have fathers, cousins, brothers, boyfriends, husbands, and no one is saying anything negative towards men, but just dismissing the fact that all women in tech happy hour, and the fact that you need this is to highlight that there is a gap. There is a gap in the reality. Like, it might not be a reality in your personal business where it's women owned and women operated, maybe, especially بلبنان لأنه كمان عنا discrepancy with the demographics of the country. And for every man there's 8 women, whatever the statistic is. So it's just, I just want to highlight and to not disregard it. Okay, I understand what you mean, but do not disregard it. It is a struggle that many millions, billions face worldwide, not just in Lebanon. Thank you.
I want to add something. We got a fund from Wakilni, so I'm working closely with Wakilni, our delivery company. It's a delivery company in Lebanon. And I was fascinated when I went to their offices that they have a nursery, for example, at the office. So I really, really appreciate Yusra. She is the co-founder in Wakilni, when she said, my job is my life. I do not go to work. Like, she has a kid now, she has a baby. So when I go to Wakilni, I see babies everywhere. I'm like, why there are babies at the office? And I love it because I think, again, to come to the point where when you communicate and understand what are the needs of this person, so this person can be efficient to give you the best of the work and enjoy the work, not feel the guiltiness of coming to work and have to finish the task and. So there is the comfort and there is, it's power basically. Having comfort is power to be able to finish the task and to deliver the work. So this is يمكن كمان answering or adding to what you said.
I took part in a conference in July with global investor It was an investor summit where a lot of female-owned businesses were discussing funding and investments for women, and a lot of them shared a lot of problems that they were facing in their businesses because they either did not have access to funds, either they did not have enough knowledge about these things, or there were no policies in place to help support them governmental-wise and everything. So 1,000% this is a valid argument. 1,000% this is something that exists. In Lebanon, it's a little bit better in the Arab region than other regions. When he says there's only 1% of female applicants in Iraq, I can completely estimate why that happens beyond marketing and advertisement, because in Iraq, it's more of an oppressive country than it is in Lebanon. Here, where Arabs, Phoenicians, whatever you want to call it, right? It's less oppressive than other countries. So definitely, legally, policy-wise, it's super important to have that implemented. But where we're coming from, the mindset of both females and males need to have that attention on them, because once you educate the men as well and raise the awareness there, then there would be less of a discrepancy of how they see women as well, right? So if you only target that problem from one way, where women, 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 and you disregard the men as well, then the men are not going to be able to see that, oh, actually they do have potential as well, or we need to integrate them more, or I need to look at other sides of who I am as well as a man, because, and I said that most of my clients are males, right? And when I talk about work-life balance, definitely males are included in that, so much. And especially that I also work with executives and athletes. So it's the extreme of the spectrum. People who are constantly working, completely disregarding their emotions, completely disregarding their family, their relationships, even adventures and creativity and all of the other areas. So that's why it's important to highlight on both. Because if they tapped into their emotions as well, if they worked on their relationships as well, then it would be a better environment for a woman to thrive in at home as well, not just in the world, right? So it's super important what you're saying. I completely agree with you. There need to be policies in place, and there needs to be more attention in specific areas and countries for women, and globally actually. But you need to highlight on both ends, not just one, to be able to raise an awareness, that, to raise a society that is all inclusive.
I just want to tell you something. I agree that it's about our power, our overview. It's about how do I think in such big titles, if you want. If I see it that empowering women is like they are weak, they need empowerment, I can tell you many things. And if I think that empowering women, it's because the impact of it is, it's because it's empowering community, I look at it in different ways. We have a very long path, but we are fighting, and we will achieve our goals successfully, inshallah.
Actually, I have issue, very important issue regarding the Lebanese university. When we attend the graduation ceremony, 90% of the masters and the PhD are women. And I want to highlight this for you, Mrs. Randa, Mrs. Maria, Mrs. Diala, Elsa, to have to support the Lebanese university. Why? Support the Lebanese university? We have many things to do it, because now the vision of the Lebanese university is to do productive projects. And we already started with them many of this kind of projects in order to support it. But actually there's some real highlights about if the Lebanese university affected or closed the master or the PhD, the woman will be the first one to be affected from these decisions. So why? Because of the affordability, because of the family issue, if you have a family. So I think empowering women is empowering men, but it needs some regulations, as just you mentioned. By the way, one of the main important regulations is supporting the online education, which is still now with Dr. Edgar Trabulsi, maybe it took more than 7 years and it doesn't arrive to be published the right way or approved, because it's connected and related to the quality assurance in higher education. And you witnessed what happens the last 3 months. Certificates and more than 14 persons from the Ministry of Education now in jail for the first time because they just did these bad actions. A good regulation empower women getting higher and higher. Firas لأنه من فارس. Just to mention, in Iraq, I went there, I worked in education system in Iraq, international baccalaureate, whatever. It's different culture at all. Especially in Kurdistan and other, it's based on the area also. It's different culture, like you mentioned. And we can't just compare.
Hello, I have a question, but I don't know how to rephrase it yet. Okay, so basically at the beginning of the panel discussion, you were saying that not to lose your feminine power and not to think of entrepreneurship and masculine energy. And also you were mentioning that only the female interns stayed for the job. So basically what I'm asking is, what do you think of a feminine character trait or skill women might have more than men that might help them in the workplace?
Okay, nice question. Actually, being in your feminine energy is not either you are in this or either you are on that. So I want you to imagine the symbol of the yin yang. Like in every black there's a dot, or there's a white dot, and every white there's a black dot. So it's actually also a balance between both. The traits that women have that are developed, I would say, is to express more, their emotions, to be aware more about their emotions. And as Maria said, dealing with men, first lesson is what are emotions. So it's it's not that they don't feel, but because of the educational system, they were raised in a way that a man should be strong, a woman can cry, a man should not cry, etc. And this is hard also for men. We have also to understand that men have also the same emotions, but maybe they don't know how to express it, or they are not allowing themselves to express it. So the fact of being aware and being in touch with your emotions as a woman, to be able to understand, to accept, to have empathy, to have all this, is something that can be developed whether you're a woman or a man. And it's not, I would say, a trait that is only for women. There are many men who are emotionally intelligent and they understand their emotions, they understand others, they are good networkers, etc. But I'm saying, it is in the educational system, it's more acceptable to be a woman who expresses and is in touch with her emotions. Now, concerning the balance, you asked also about both. Yes, because I'm seeing some women who are becoming so much into the business side that they are also repressing their emotions. They are trying to impose themselves in a way that is not feminine, or forgetting also that because they want so bad to be equal, or because they consider themselves inferior and they want to be equal to men. And this is something that I don't agree with, because it's not about inferior and superior. They are already equal, they are different. Being different is not being inferior or superior. Being different means, if you have a pear and an apple, they are both fruits, each one has a different taste, and it's okay. I mean, there's nothing that is better than the other. However, when I see women who are becoming aggressive, this is where I feel that there's a lack somewhere, because I want you to consider it as a scale. Okay, you're either aggressive, so I step on you, or you're passive, so I let you step on me. But I think the ideal way is to be assertive in the middle. Assertive is to express what you want in a very clear way and respectable way, telling what you need, saying what you need, putting boundaries clearly, without letting people step on you and without you stepping on others. This is the balance that I'm talking about, whether you're a woman or a man. But the balance is important.
Thank you so much. Anyone would like to add anything? Yes, sure. Okay, who's first?
Hello, so I would like to add a little bit about the energy, feminine and masculine, because it's a bit kind of in my field. We often talk about feminine and masculine as if like men are masculine and women are feminine, but like in the fact, it's each of us, we have both. So as you said, like it's a yin-yang, so we both have our feminine, but sadly, how we were raised, how we were disconnected from who we are, our authenticity, makes our feminine and masculine distorted. So it's either the woman has more masculine, or either like it's distorted, like she cannot tune into her feminine, or the other way around. So ideally, in our conceptual age right now, to really succeed, or I prefer to use the word thrive, we need to tune into our feminine, even for the men, because right now we need more play, we need empathy, we need receptivity, we need emotional intelligence, and that's why even men need to become more like in tune, or how can we say it, like like aligned between their masculine and feminine. So yeah, this is like just my insight, and thank you.
To add one small point on this, it's not just an inferiority or superiority game when it comes to genders on this topic. It's also how you define one thing is how you go towards it, right? So if you define success as the hustle culture defined it, work hard, don't sleep, no rest, go, keep working, that definition in itself is in the masculine energy. But once you redefine success on your terms and how you want success to be like, and I'm saying that because from my experience, I used to be a full-on hustler for years, right? And so I felt like I used to be in my masculine energy more, but when I redefined what success means to me and what works for me, I found myself naturally going more into my feminine energy. And then I found that, and by the way, when I did this, and I stepped more into who I am, my success sped up much, much more. And I was able to deliver more because one aspect of being in your feminine energy is manifestation. So you're able to attract things and based on the energy that you put out as well. So it's how you define one thing is how you act towards it. If you want to get to a certain thing and you feel like there's resistance towards that, change the way that you're defining it, because subconscious mind is everything. We're conscious beings, subconsciously driven.
Thank you so much. Our last question.
هاي رح أسأله بالعربي بعتقد رح أقدر أعبر عن حالي أكثر. هذا السؤال موجه لحضرتك مدام ديالا ولمسيو فيراس لأنه بتقدموا بروجرامات دايركتد للومن امباورمنت. بيزيكلي وقت نحكي عن وومن امباورمنت أنا في صورتين بتجي بوجهي. هي صورة عن مرأة ورجال عم بيركضوا سبق بين بعضهم. عنا الرجال هالباس بيزيكلي يمكن فاضي، هي قدامها الباس تبعها، في عندها نشر الغسيل، عندها الأولاد، عندها تجيب الأولاد من المدرسة، عنا 100 شغلة بدنا نعملها. سو حضرتكم عم تقدموا بروجرامات لهالومن، بس هالبروجرام عم بيكون موجه انتم يمكن بس للومنز، حضرتكم عم تقدموا بروجرامات بتكون متول لحيلا ستارت اب بدها تقلع. طب هالبروجرام كيف عم بيكون متناسق مع وقت هالمرة؟ مثل ما قالت في حدا عامل جاردوري، في ناس بيعملوا تواليتات للمرة اللي بتولد جديد تقدر تكفي بشغلها وهي عندها بيبي بدها كمان تأمن له حاجاته. سو تحكيت حضرتك عن انه في ليه النسوان اللي عم بيقدموا، ما بعرف اذا حضرتكم داعمين لبروجرام بلوم EON. انا مره فت عليه، انا عندي بسمول بزنس، طب الساعه 3 الظهر عم بينعطى اونلاين، انا بهالوقت بجيب اولادي من المدرسه، ما قدرت كفي بالبروجرام. هون وقت بدنا نحكي عن امباورمنت ببروجرامات مختصه ب 50% او 60% للومن، كمان بدنا نعدله لهالبروجرام ببوليسي معينه هي جابتها يكون قادر يستوعب. سو نحن وقت نحكي women empowerment it's not about equality. الموضوع منه إذا أنا it's difference هي difference between woman and man ايه وكيف نبني بس يعني بدنا نعطي empowerment تنشيل نخفف من التاسك اللي عندها اياها تقدر تعطي مثل هالرجال ما في يكون بروجرام ميتويال.
انا رح اقول لك نحن كيف نشتغل flexibility يعني التailored لما نقول tailored program it's a specific tailored program يعني for each startup. هلا باخر بروجي اللي اشتغلناه مع اسرار مع سبارك كان في عندك ال one on one session. This one on one session it was very flexible on time of the startup. يعني اليوم الستارت اب لما بتدق لي او بتدق للمنتور تبعها I can't in this time. He should be on her time مش العكس. عرفتي؟ يعني نحن this is what we do. Even we had mentorship session Sundays, Saturdays. It's up to her. It's up to her. This is how we empower women. Not only it's about I told you access to resources, not only resources. I don't give you resources. I give you access to resources. This is what we work for.
بدي اقول شغله انه كمان وقتها بعتقد وقتها قطعنا كوفيد فهمنا كتير منيح قد ايه العالم وقتها انحطت بسيتويشن ما عندها غير حل بلشت تلاقي غير طرق لسيستم واحد نحن معودين فيه. بعتقد لازم يطبق على كل العالم. And again to come to the point انه not specifically talking about men or women كمان يمكن men بمحل they need a different system من السيستم اللي هن معودين عليه. مثل ما المرة لنرجع كمان اللي قلته انه لازم ينفهم شو اللي عايزينه بمحل و to direct it to this direction والneeds بس انه to apply to everything. يعني كل حدا همه على قده مثل ما بيقولوا بالعربي for a reason. So this is why you understand yourself and you put your target and you embrace what you want and how you want it. تقدر تلاقي هذا الموضوع.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your exquisite insight and thank you audience for your time. Okay.
أرد معلش؟
طبعاً.
بس quickly, very quickly.
Yes.
وقت عم نعمل development program you wanna be inclusive مشان الwomen more participate. We need always to give advantage for that. مشان هيك نحن بكل مشاريعنا إذا بيجينا بروفايل let's say from business men or business women same quality who I will choose even if it's a little bit less from the woman I will put plus for the woman. I give her more points for the woman to be لأنه دائما الwoman مثل ما أنت كنتي عم تقولي they don't have the same privilege like the men. فمجرد انه الفيميلز عم بيحاولوا يقدموا to be part of this project for us I think this is step. بس اكيد نحن هذا بيكون lesson learned لازم we need to consider in the future. بس كمان لازم تيجي هالفيدباك منكم كبارتيسيبنت دائما. يعني don't be only responsive. That's what we want to motivate the woman to be proactive. So you need to make action and say, raise your voice, say no, this is not working for me. Of course maybe they will customize something for yourself.
Thank you Firas so much. Thank you all for attending. Now you're most welcome to the lunch at level 1.